Good afternoon, hello, my name is Daniel, this is the TriathlonDan YouTube channel. But before I head out this lunchtime run, I've just got to feed this little rug rat. It's our 12th meal of the day, I know. You have to walk everywhere in this house like this, like with your feet on the floor, because he just jumps around your feet and jumps up your legs, and I've booted him a couple of times, so I'm going to try and not do that. Right, lunchtime pal, there you go buddy. Look forward to you stinking the house out in about 10 minutes after having lunch. Right, time for me to get outside for a run session, let's go. All right then, so run time. It's actually really warm, it's about 18, 19 degrees Celsius, which for early October in the UK is scorching, and it gets hotter this weekend. Crazy. Anyway, now the run is mostly steady, other than 6 times 30-second hill efforts. Now I am blessed with hills in this local area, so I don't need to run very far to find one. So I'm just going to do my normal loop, but on the hill that I go up, just going to do 30-second efforts times 6, and just run back down a similar sort of distance in a minute and a half recovery. The hill efforts aren't flat out, but they're also not easy, so it's just, okay, it's just pushing on, feeling the burn, raising my heart rate a little bit, and get that workout in. No one session on its own is going to get me in great shape, but loads of sessions that are good are going to. And I have got a decent bike session later on today, so I don't want to completely screw my legs over. Let's get to a hill and run up and down it a few times, and hopefully it stays dry because it's looking a bit overcast. All right then, found a hill. This one will do, won't it? Get steeper towards the top. So what I'm going to do is run some of the way up, do intervals on the steeper bit towards the top. So on the last interval, I can just go over the top and then run around. I haven't got to run up the hill to continue my route. Let's go. Intervals done and dusted. I've only got about a mile and a half left to run. Just really keeping this bit steady. As you can tell, I'm absolutely dripping. Running up and down a hill felt quite difficult. I'm definitely nowhere near as fit as I was earlier this year, but I'm out here doing it. That's the key, isn't it? So if you're getting a bit demoralised about where you're at, just get out there, do some stuff, and it will get better at some point in the future, is what I'm telling myself anyway. So we will see. Anyway, I'm gonna crack out an afternoon at work, and then I will see you tonight for a bike session, which I'm going to do on Zwift. It's going to be quite a hard session, so let's get stuck in. All right, good evening. It is bike time. I've faffed around a little bit post work. I should get straight on the bike when I finish. I know I should. I need to do that in future. So this is tonight's session. It looks something like that, and it is a nice warm up, and then 10 times 30 seconds at 460 watts and 4.5 minutes at 275. No recovery, just straight through 10 times, then 10 minutes warm down. Now that 460 is probably 5-minute PB power for me, roughly around there. So it is a hard intensity. I find myself doing between 460 and 500 for a peak minute in a road race, like a few times. And then 275 watts in between. This is about 70.3 race pace. So middle distance triathlon race power for me. That's not theoretical, there numbers that I've done at a couple of events this year, or in fact slightly more in fact. So I know that I can do that 275 for 2 and a bit hours. So I shouldn't struggle doing that, but it is still a decent intensity, so I'll be interested to see whether I get a proper recovery whilst I'm doing that, and basically how it goes. But it's one way to find out, isn't there? So let's get stuck in. I don't really know the purpose of today's session, to be honest. I think the beauty of being coached is I just place trust in my coach that he's going to set me what's relevant. So I'm looking at it, I think, well, is it improving me recovering from hard efforts while still holding a decent tempo? I don't know, we'll find out. I'll ask him. Right, what are you doing? Okay, see you. So I'm just getting stuck into the third rep here, just coming to the end of the second 4.5 minute block at 275-ish. I don't use erg mode, but I thought it'd be interesting to have a look at what my heart rate is doing, both on an interval near the beginning. So here, going into the third hard interval. So just before we start, it's down to 135, and then I'm going to flick forward to the last effort and just see how my heart rate is behaving differently, whether the fatigue of the session is having any effect on that or not. So the number we need to remember is, what was it, 135 at the end of that 4.5 minute block. I left it until the end of the second block just so that I was into the workout. I think in the first interval it's going to be a little bit more volatile, it's going to perhaps be a bit lower,
than it is when you're into the interval. So that was the reason for doing that. And then on this 30-second hard, the highest it goes up today is 1:45. It does drift up a little bit straight after because of the heart rate lag, but at the end of that 30-second interval, it's 1:45, and it's just got 1:46 there. This is then the last interval here, so we can see I'm just about to start the last 30-second effort, and again it's at 1:36, so it's only 1:37, 1 or 2 beats per minute above where it was in that first interval. So quite happy with that, to be honest. I'd expect it to be a bit higher, so I don't really understand that, but it just shows that 4.5 minutes is long enough for me to recover, or it's a sustainable power level, or whatever it is. Essentially my heart rate is pretty much the same. Let's see what the difference is on this interval as well, though. 30 seconds is only a short amount of time, so your heart rate does lag quite a bit, but we're doing the same test, aren't we, right? So let's see what it is at the end of this 30-second effort. On the old one, what was it, 1:46, 1:47, and again exactly the same, 1:47. So nothing really to report there. That was pretty consistent. Good session.
Oh, session done and dusted. Stats on screen, that was good. 4 seconds is remaining up, that's what it looked like. Pretty uneventful, to be honest. I think those sessions are more mentally tough than they are physically. Like having a big block in front of you and knowing there's no recovery, like it's hard to get into. Like if you get to the second or third interval and you think, oh, my legs are feeling it, like you just got to keep pushing. When you get to the 7th, 8th, 9th, you know you're there. So really happy with that workout. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the like button down below, join my Zwift club. I think there's a group ride on tonight if this video goes out on Monday, live streamed. I don't want much from you, do I? But I really appreciate the support. Hope your training's going well. Here we go, getting stuck into a big winter, even though it's about 18 degrees now and I'm still sweating like mad. There'll be a different story next week. See you tomorrow.